So Chesney, yeah, thanks for talking to us. I really appreciate you talking to us. I've been looking forward to it. Um,
My
there's a lot
pleasure,
going
man.
on. Album came out earlier this year. How's 2025 been for you?
It's been mad. I don't think I've been this busy since 1991, to be honest with you. It really has been a wild year. I've been, toured with James Blunt around Europe, which was amazing. Was in the Big Brother house, released an album, went on tour. I mean, it's just been wild. It's been absolutely wild. And then with massive festival season, just about to go out on tour again. We're in Germany next week, and then
I
back on the road on the UK tour in March around the UK. Yeah.
was going to ask, March is not that long away now.
No.
What are you looking forward to about going out on your own headline run?
Well, I love those gigs because it's like, I do a lot of what we call the soft ticket shows, where you're on a festival, you're part of a bill on a festival, or if, maybe sometimes I'll do these butlins and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
So these kind of gigs, it's definitely my fans, if you know what I mean. So like
yeah,
they know some of the other songs, and I don't have to keep explaining that there's more than one song.
yeah. There is that. I mean, do you enjoy life on the road then?
I love it.
Yeah,
And actually, it's more and more fun as time goes on. I got my brother on the road with me. He's my drummer, has been since day one.
yeah.
But also, I now have my young son on the road with me.
Oh, okay.
He's my lead guitar player.
Oh, wow.
So that makes it fun. And yeah, gosh, it's like a band of merry men.
Yeah,
It's always good fun.
yeah. Okay. Obviously the album came out earlier in the year. It's a great album.
Thanks, man.
But there was a 12-year gap between that and Real Life Love. Obviously you
Yeah.
went to LA during that time. What did you kind of do during that time period?
I was just being a dad more than anything else. It was kind of like, in the kind of thick of things with the kids. So when I moved in 2012, they were little, and so I was just kind of like concentrating on them. I was writing, producing. I had a studio in LA. I was writing for other artists and mentoring young artists and things like that, as well as touring and stuff over here. But I just kind of put it all on hold for a little bit. And then when I came back last year, I was like, oh yeah, I need to hit the ground running here, and that's when it really kind of went into full stretch, and I really did hit the ground running. It's been an amazing year, it really has.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I spent a long time living down south in Berkshire. What was it like going from leafy Berkshire to the kind of hustle and bustle of LA? What was that like?
Yeah, it's very different. It's
Yeah,
very different. I mean, to be honest, I mean, my life has always been hustle and bustle, and I'm always in town or always on the road. So, it's not, the fastness of the town that's different. It's geographically very different.
yeah.
I mean, it's a desert. I lived in a desert for 12 years, and that's one of the things I missed, that kind of green and pleasant land.
Okay.
I don't, I mean, I really like the weather. I do like the sun, I have to say, but I kind of, I miss the rain in a way.
Yeah,
It's nice to be back here in this drizzly, cold, damp, grey country that we live in.
yeah, absolutely.
I
I'm with
I
you.
love it. I love it. So I missed football banter. I miss pub culture. I miss the green and pleasant land. I missed irony as humor.
Yeah.
I miss beer. They don't know how
Oh,
to do
wow.
beer
Yeah.
over
Okay.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't. Americans don't do that. Yeah. It's not. Yeah, I mean, what did you learn out there? I mean, doing your songwriting and all that kind of life. What did you pick up from it that you brought back into this next chapter?
I do like the way Americans are positive. It's like there's a very distinct difference between the English psyche and an American psyche in that respect.
Yeah,
I definitely picked up. I mean, I think I've always been quite a positive person anyway, and that's why I kind of, I felt drawn to that in America. I lived in America when I was a kid, so I
Oh,
remember
okay.
it. I remember that as a kid. Um, but not to say I don't love the kind of sarcastic humor that we have, and like the kind of slightly kind of dark humor that we all love, and taking the piss out of each other and stuff like that, which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
It's just that there's that kind of, I don't know, when you say like to an English person, like if you had a hit record, they were like, oh, you only had the one, did you? Could you not follow it up?
Yeah.
America would be like, "Oh my God, you had a hit record. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Well done. Congratulate. It's just it's a different mental
Mentality,
acuity,
yeah.
and yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
like we said, there was a 12-year gap between the two albums. Why was now the right time to write a new record?
Well, the record's kind of these songs. They've been around for a little bit. I started writing with Jake Gosling, my old friend I've known for years. He's a producer. He discovered Ed Sheeran. He's now like
Right.
an A-list producer. He works with Shania Twain and Paloma Faith and One Direction and all these people. Anyway, so we're old mates and we were having a beer, and he said we should just do something with just me and you. I was like, yeah, bloody brilliant. So we got together, and I remember it was a sunny day outside his studio, and I had a guitar, and we just wrote this song, and it came out in like 20 minutes, like one of those good ones. You're like, oh wow, that was fun. And then Jake was like, I think we need to make a record here. So we did, and it kind of fit me in between Sam Smith and Harry Styles here and there, and just for those couple of years, we chipped away at an album, made some great kind of pop music, like kick the doors down pop record. But
Yeah,
then I started kind of getting a bit introspective, and I started bringing songs to him that were cathartic and therapeutic and seemingly different to what we were writing. And I was like,
yeah,
I'm not sure, if I want to put this out, but I just wanted to play it to you. It's a bit raw, it's a bit emotional, bit and introspective. And he was like, mate, you need to release this. This needs to come out. So we made it a kind of a game of two halves in a way, this album.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm very proud that we did actually. And I think it wasn't for Jake and for a few other friends, Nick Kershaw I was writing with on this record too. I think there's a few songs that maybe wouldn't have made the album if it wasn't for them kind of pulling it out of me.
Right, okay. Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask about that. You mentioned it being an album of two halves. There's kind of the fun kind of poppy songs, songs like Nobody Like You, and then there's some really kind of personal songs like The Meaning of This. There's some really different songs
Yeah.
on it. I mean, what vision did you have in mind for the record?
Well, I realized that as we started putting the songs together, that it was so personal, this record, and even those kind of seemingly pop bangers like Get a Hold of Yourself, they've got a message there, and that one's about freedom of self-expression and
Yeah,
getting to a certain age and realizing you worry less about what people think of you and being comfortable in your own skin. um, so I realized that a lot of these songs were kind of like a roadmap to life for my kids. It's like it's
right.
okay to be vulnerable, it's okay to cry, and it's okay to talk about things, and get deep, and there's the meaning of this is about suicide. It's about a friend of ours that took her
Yeah,
own life, and very close to our family, and me writing about it was a way for us to talk about it more as
yeah.
well, and there's songs about loss, there's songs about abuse. It's pretty it's pretty dark at places,
Well, you
it's
mentioned
deep.
cathartic earlier. I mean, was it a cathartic record to write for you then?
100%,
Yeah,
100%. And so I feel like because of that, and that's why it's called Living Arrows, because it was about a Khalil Gibran poem called On Children. I don't know if you've ever heard it. It's a
no,
beautiful poem about
right.
having kids and getting to a certain age where you have to pull the bow back and let your living arrows go. And my
All right,
kids are
okay.
at that age at the moment, and I like that. I like the equation that it's about the kids, but I also like the thought of it being about the songs.
Right.
You write these songs, you put your blood, sweat, and tears into them, and then you just pull the bow back and you let them go, and then the people find their own emotional connections to them and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, on that note, I mean, you've mentioned your family quite a lot. You mentioned, I think you said it was your son was out on tour with you.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of what you've learned from the music industry, what advice would you pass down, or what advice would you give them from your own experiences?
Same advice my dad gave me. My dad was a musician too,
Yeah.
and we he told me just before I kind of broke and everything, he was like, don't believe the hype. Don't
Right.
believe the good stuff that people are saying about you. It's none of it's real. Don't believe the bad stuff that people are saying about you. None of it's real. Just
Yeah.
keep it neutral, So I've tried to keep my head in that way throughout my whole life. So that's definitely what I would say to my kids. And my son Indy is getting into the business now. He's very successful already. He's already had two West End runs, and
Right.
he's like a little comet, that kid. So I can already see that with him, and I'm already having those kind of conversations.
Yeah. But I mean, on that note, I mean, you even though you've been writing and you've had your studio and you've done that time in LA, the music industry's changed a lot over that since
Mm.
you first came out. What, as an artist putting out music now, what was it like coming back into the music industry in 2024
Well,
and going into this year? Because
it's
it's
completely turned on its head, the business.
yeah,
You know, it's like back in my day, like you you used to, go on the road to promote your records because
yeah,
your money was going to be your record sales. So
yeah,
now it's the complete opposite way around. You make these records and they're just promotional tools so that you can go on the road and make money on the road. I mean, even that's difficult now for certainly artists that are just starting. I mean, so I don't know how you make money in this industry anymore. It's really tough. I mean,
yeah,
the good thing about it is that your career is in your own hands. You know, social media has put that in your pocket. You know,
yeah,
so if you're savvy and I keep saying this to my son, it's like you've got to build your numbers. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's part of the business now.
yeah, absolutely, yeah,
A record label is interested in you. The first thing they're going to look at, unfortunately, it's a shame, but it is the way of the world, is your social numbers.
yeah,
So if you
definitely.
don't have enough TikTok followers, they're just going to be like, "Yeah, we can't get through to you to people without a million plus." You know, it's just ridiculous, really, because it just shows. I mean, because it would have really most of the great artists of all time would never have been even signed if if that was what they're looking for.
But I think I don't think those artists would have even existed. I mean, I think
No, agreed.
you go back, you look at somebody like the Beatles or somebody like that, they wouldn't have been around. That longevity's not
No,
there now for new artists.
no.
Well, or at least I
And
don't think from my own experience.
no, I think you're 100% right. And plus, the Beatles were turned down by every single record label.
Yeah. I mean, just going back then, last year I spoke to, I think it was Denise from Five Star about
Love
their kind
Denise.
of their journey from being like unknown to that explosion and being like
Yeah,
almost a superstar. I mean, at a young age.
yeah.
What was it? What was that experience like for you?
I grew up in a rock and roll household, so I kind of saw it at first hand with my dad and his friends. It was mental in our house growing up. It was just ridiculous, you know. And I saw it all, so I kind of knew something about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I wasn't completely in from another world. So when it happened for me, I had that background, but there's nothing that can really prepare you for the madness that really unfolds when you have that kind of success.
yeah.
It was so stratospheric that I my feet didn't touch the ground for 2 years. You know,
Yeah.
it was ridiculous. You know.
How did you cope with that?
Well, I had people around me. My brother was my drummer from day one. He
Yeah,
still is now. He's my younger brother, and if my head got too big for my boots, he just called me an idiot, and we'll get on with it. And he's still the same now. And I had my dad was there to kind of guide a little bit. Although he's just a rock and roll legend, my dad, and just like
yeah,
he loved it. He was living it all over again himself.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I think I've always had a good head on my shoulders. I mean, I didn't completely hold it together. It's like after that kind of crazy time, there's another side of the hill, and I did go off the rails a little bit for a while until I met my lovely wife, who probably saved my life, to be honest.
yeah. Took you to the calmness of LA. So
Yeah, well, eventually, yeah, eventually.
brilliant. Okay, I mean, one thing you touched on earlier is doing festivals and doing the festival circuit. Now,
Yeah,
a lot of the 80s kind of, or those stars that kind of grew up then do a kind of familiar circuit. But I mean, how would you feel about doing some of the more different festivals? I mean, I'm thinking like Glastonbury
yeah,
or even like, I don't know, something like Download where they've started having like bands like
yeah,
McFly and that
yeah,
don't fit into that demographic, but the audience know who they are and they go
yeah.
down an absolute storm. I mean, would you consider something like that?
Definitely, all on the cards for next year.
Yeah,
Glastonbury would be an absolute box ticked. I would love that.
yeah,
I know Rick did it a couple of years ago, and that
yeah,
was
yeah.
a success. He did great. I mean, I think I'm on that kind of journey for sure, and
Right.
and I would love to see some of those festivals. I'd love to see myself on some of those stages. I really would. Download would be great. I would love to do Download.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because yeah, you're right. There's a certain festival circuit that heritage artists such as myself tend to do, and obviously I do all those. and enjoy them. They're great fun. But yeah, I would love to do one of those. Yeah, mainstream festivals would be great.
Brilliant. Right. I mean, we're running out of time. Just to wrap up, we like to do a bit of a less serious question. So,
Okay.
um, based on you running around a stately home naked, um, which three places would you really love to run around naked? And on that, what would your excuse be if you got arrested?
Oh my God. All right. Well, I mean, if you're going to do it, you may as well do it full on. So I'm thinking like Times Square or Piccadilly Circus, excuse. Um, it's just what 90s pop stars do, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, if you're going to go off the rails, then you might as well do it in
I
style.
mean, exactly. I'm sure that would have been something Robbie would have done in his day.
Yeah. And I think Piccadilly Circus, I think it's probably been seen. So, yeah.
They've seen it all before, and and it's all on YouTube now anyway. So I may as well go the full hog.
Yeah. If you're going to get your million viewers, then you might as well do it in style.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Well, I mean, it's been great talking to you. I really appreciate it. I've been looking forward to it. Football banter, we need to have another conversation about at some point.
Hey,
Um,
who's your team? Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah, great. I actually really like Everton, I'm a Moyes boy.
yeah, me
I
too.
love Moyes.
So,
Well, yeah, and he's done a great job with you guys. So,
yeah,
I hope he does well with you guys, and he is. Obviously, he's doing better than West
yeah.
Ham. So,
But that's the conversation we can have separately. But I mean, like I said,
yeah.
just to wrap up, 2026 and beyond for Chesney Hawkes, and do you have a message for fans? I mean, what's coming from you?
Well, obviously, early next year we've got the tour in March. That's going to be really fun. Come along, but leave your inhibitions at the door, relive your youth, and party like it's 1991 with me. It's going to be a fun a fun tour, that one. So yeah, that's it, really. And I've got a new album, hopefully in the works. So it's exciting times, Graham. It's exciting time for me.